Welcome to the official YouTube channel of Forturnia.com. I'm your host AJ, and today I'm going to be doing an unboxing and mini review of the Mondo Masters of the Universe Revelation Skeletor 1/6 scale collectible figure. So the first Revelation Skeletor figure we ever received is this Masterverse figure. And I was never really pleased with the whole presentation of it, specifically the color of the skull and the color of the tassets, this loincloth armor. I mean, the sculpt was terrific, but for some reason the colors never matched up. They never lined up with what we saw in the series and the Powerhouse Animation model sheets. And even if you look at the artwork here by Eamon O'Donoghue on the back of the packaging, you see a yellow skull. But it doesn't quite line up with the actual figure itself, and I just can't understand why. I mean, just look at the head of the Havoc staff. Instead of gray bone color, we should be getting purple like we saw in the series. So I'm hoping all of these color problems I see in this Masterverse figure is not going to be in the actual Mondo figure. So this was a San Diego Comic-Con 2022 exclusive. Only 2,000 were made. And it's the same artwork that was available on their exclusive poster that Mondo offered at the Comic-Con. And on the binding here, we have Skeletor right there and Masters of the Universe Revelation. And towards the back, we have our first look at the figure. And I'm definitely liking what I'm seeing here. I'm not sure if it's a perfect representation of the Revelation Skeletor yet. I'm afraid the tassets might still be black. Same thing with the shoulder armor, when it should really be dark purple per the Powerhouse Animation Studio model sheet. You know, it's funny, the original promo pics for Mondo has definitely a purple color in those areas, but it looks like the final figure has black, or maybe it's just a real dark purple. So I'm really going to have to take a look at it out of the box to make my final determination, but it's definitely looking a lot better than that Masterverse figure already. So I can't wait to get this out of the box. So this figure is approximately 12 inches in height and weighs approximately, I believe, about 4 pounds. And this is really neat. This is actually magnetized. So this actually seals all by itself. Once you close the door enough, it just clicks into place, and there's, I guess, magnets built into the cardboard. It's really rather cool. I really like what Mondo does here. So otherwise, it's a good looking package, and I love this poster artwork, even though it seems to be used a lot. And inside here, we have Castle Grayskull, and we have the actual figure here, which I believe includes 8 interchangeable hands? Well, let's open this up and find out. So here's the figure outside the box. Mondo includes a stand, which is attached here, and it clips onto the waist. And then the accessories are Skeletor's hood, 4 different heads. We have the Havoc staff over here, 6 hands additional to what's already on the body, a blade tip, which I believe goes on the Havoc staff, and the power sword. I have the power. So let's look at these heads. So this first head is called the Scared Head. And all 4 of these heads have articulation. You can open the mouth. See what that looks like. It's pretty cool. And then the next head here this is the Smug Head. You know, he's got that one eye socket smaller than the other one. A little suspicious look. That's pretty cool. And then the third head here is the Angry Head. If you just look at the eye sockets, like the brows are low. And this is my favorite head here, definitely. Yeah, that's awesome. And then finally, the fourth head is called the Regular Head. He almost looks like he's smiling to me in a little bit. Yeah. So that's the regular Skeletor head. You know, Mondo did an excellent job here. They should be commended. This is really an excellent quartet of Skeletor heads. So let's take a look at this Havoc staff here. You know, I wish it was purple like it was in the Masters of the Universe Revelation series, but otherwise this looks great. The head's got a lot of weight to it. You know, I wonder if the mouth is articulated. If we can, no, you can't open it. You know, in the show, a Masters of the Universe Revelation, Skeletor would be able to open the mouth of the Havoc staff and shoot fireballs out of it, which would be really wild. But otherwise, this is gorgeous. I mean, look at that sculpt. Look at the paint job. They did a really terrific job here. Man, I love that. All right, on the bottom of the Havoc staff, we should be able to attach the blade tip here. If we could pull this off, it actually takes a little bit of strength. And you can attach the blade tip. Now, if you remember in Masters of the Universe Revelation, Skeletor would use this as a stabbing weapon. Even stabbed He-Man with it, so this looks pretty cool. So next up, we got the Power Sword here. Let's take a good look at that. It's really well sculpted. You know, it almost, and the way it's painted here, it almost looks like it's real steel, you know, like the 40th anniversary set, but it's not. It's plastic, but it's really well done. It looks terrific here. So now let's look at the hands. So you have 6 additional hands, 8 in total. And don't be thrown off by this darker paint color. It's sort of that shadow anime style. They're actually putting faux shadows on these hands. And finally, we have the hood. And the hood, it will actually attach itself to all 4 skulls, depending on which skull you want to display with. This little peg goes into the little hole, and you just pop it right in there. And it might take a little bit of an effort. And here's my Skeletor figure. And I decided to display him with the Sword of Power, and his other hand is just sprawled out. I mean, I really adore this Havoc staff, and I would love to display it with him, but seriously, how often does Skeletor get to hold the Sword of Power? Especially He-Man's Sword of Power. I'm not talking about the 2 halves from the vintage days. Now, when comparing the Mondo figure to the Masterverse figure, it is a huge improvement. All these color errors that I've seen in the Masterverse figures has been fixed for the Mondo figure. Now, the Mondo figure isn't perfect. It looks like this black or dark purple might be a little too dark in some areas than what we saw in Masterverse of the Universe Revelation. But then again, these might be shadows because this is really stylized painted. And overall, this is really a terrific representation of the Masters of the Universe Revelation Skeletor that we saw in the series. And as a huge fan of that show, I really couldn't be happier with this figure. I mean, this is just fantastically painted, and I love this stylized look. If you look at on the side of the body, like I said, these are some sort of faux shadows that gives you this sort of like anime feel. And if you look at the back of the cape here, you have that stylized shadowing again on this soft plastic cape, that anime style. I know Masters of the Universe Revelation is an anime, but a little piece of trivia, it was considered anime for a short period of time by Netflix and Kevin Smith. So let's remove Skeletor's hood. Let that bone dome shine. Take this off here. And look, you can even display him without the hood, and he just looks so awesome. I'll lift up the power sword so Skeletor could be shouting, "I have the power." Look at this. This is just fantastic. And just imagine this. "I have the power, you bubbling boob." So I am in love with this figure. I am so happy with this Masters of the Universe Revelation Skeletor. I'm so happy with the sculpting. I'm so happy with the paint apps. I'm so happy with these alternate heads and the fact that they have articulation and the Havoc staff and the power sword. This is really a fantastic figure. If you haven't gotten it and you could afford it on the secondary market and you're a fan of this Skeletor, I highly recommend you chasing after this figure. It's really terrific. Well, that's it. Once again, this is AJ, and I want to thank you for watching. And for all the latest Masters of the Universe news and content, be sure to visit us at foreternia.com. We'll see you next time.